They staged the shootout for the Big Apple last Sunday when Bill Arnsparger's New York Giants faced the New York Jets for the championship of New York City. Arnsparger, who masterminded Miami's famed no-name defense, has not had the same success with his Giants. His defense is giving up 21 points per game, but if that is hurting him, his offense is killing him. Only 4 teams in the NFL have scored less points. Part of the Giants' problem has been their running game, where a series of injuries to Ron Johnson, the latest a broken hand, have kept the 1,000-yarder out of action. But it isn't hands or legs that have miniaturized the Giant offense. Rather, it is an arm. Last week, however, the Giants seem to have solved their quarterbacking woes when Craig Morton, acquired from the Cowboys, got his first start and passed for over 250 yards in leading the Giants to their second win of the season. That's one win more than Charlie Winner's Jets. Winner, like Arnsparger, is in his first season as head coach of a New York franchise. But when you speak of the Jets, you speak of Joe Namath. Mr. Jet is the heart and soul of his team, but the fact remains that the quarterback with the pantyhose legs has not beaten a team with a winning record since Super Bowl III. So, with not much more at stake than a championship of a city, the 2 New York representatives of the National Football League prepared to do battle 75 miles away from the city that they were fighting for, in New Haven, Connecticut, where the New York Giants face the New York Jets in the NFL Game of the Week. For Craig Morton, who was to have a super first half, rollouts and play action would be the order of the day, for Morton learned early that his pass pocket was no place to be. An inspired jet rush line once knocked down a Morton pass, then twice knocked down Morton himself, as the Giants' first series went nowhere. Unlike Morton, who started slowly, Joe Namath was off and winging on the Jets' first series, hitting 3 for 3 and moving his offense in for a score. Namath's first pass to David Knight was good for 10 yards and a first down, and his second to Emerson Boozer over the middle gained 12 more. Then from the Giant 19, Namath used play action, got time thanks to his fake, and nailed a lonely Knight for the touchdown. Looking at the play from our end zone slow motion camera, we can see that Giant middle linebacker Brian Kelly, number 55, was concerned about coverage to his right, but he was perhaps too concerned, and his drop back into the middle zone was not quick enough, thanks to Namath's play fake. Kelly's momentary indecision enabled Knight to break open behind him, hence Knight's wide open status at the goal line. Namath had moved the Jets 56 quick yards, and the Giants suddenly trailed 7-0. So Morton forsook the passing attack that had brought him bruises on his first series, and on a 17-play drive, he ran the ball 12 times, including the first 6 plays in succession. The 6 plays gained 30 yards, but more important was the fact that it cooled the Jet pass rush, and with less heat in the pocket, Morton began to throw. An out pattern to Walker Gillette gained 6 yards. Another pass caused an interference penalty and a first down, and still another pinpoint sideline toss to Bob Grimm put the Giants on the Jet 5. From there, Morton went back to the run, and it cost him. Doug Kotar could not get outside and lost 4 yards. The loss forced Morton to pass, and he could not get the touchdown. Repeating the play reveals that it was a super play by number 21, Steve Cannon, who leaped over a blocker that caused the loss. The Giants had to settle for a field goal and trailed 7-3. On the Jets' second series, Namath hit his fourth and fifth consecutive passes of the game, with the fifth gaining 21 yards as the Jets were moving again. Looking at the play in slow motion, we can see why Namath was having so much success. For Joe's brittle knees, protection is the name of the game. And on this play, Namath got enough time to pose for his publicity stills before rifling another completion. Namath would go on to complete his first 7 passes, but Morton wasn't having a bad day either, and the Giants soon claimed the lead. A short pop to Bob Tucker helped slow the Jet rush even more, and on the next play, Morton dropped straight back and let it fly. After the 41-yarder to Gillette, Morton sent Bob Grimm in motion, pulling Burgess Owens to the right. And when Steve Cannon, number 21, was fooled by Morton's bootleg, Bob Tucker was free enough to one-hand a touchdown. The Giants led for the first time in the game 10-7. And when their defense held, Morton tried one-hand Tucker again. But this time, Tucker couldn't hold on, and the Jets forced a punt. With the Giants aware that Namath was on a hot roll, Joe now turned to his running game. Rookie Bob Burns ran a draw for 12. Then old reliable Emerson Boozer gouged out 9 more yards before his shirt stopped him. But when Namath went back to the pass, Boozer proved that while he may be old after 9 years of running back pounding, on this play he wasn't so reliable, dropping Namath's pass before doing his wounded fighter plane routine. A repeat shows why Boozer was so upset with himself. He was wide open at the 10 and saw touchdowns out of the corner of his eye. But he tried to get into the end zone before he had the ball. The Jets would settle for a field goal from Pat Leahy, who was filling in for knee-weary Bobby Howfield. And Leahy's uniquely sideward spinning kick brought the Jets into a 10-10 tie.
Ooh, hey, you're a winner. 754-0077.
With less than 2 minutes to go in the half, Morton would have to use the pass to conserve time and move the ball. But he was still hot, and moved the ball he did. On their late first-half drive, Morton threw 8 passes, completed 6, and brought his first-half yardage total to 170 yards. His last completion carried to the Jet 5 before Bob Tucker was put down hard with 23 seconds left. From there, Pete Gogolak notched his second field goal of the game, and after the first half of the battle for New York, the Giants led the Jets 13-10. With both John Riggins and his backup Mike Adamle injured, the Jets didn't figure to run. But on the first series of the third quarter, they were running at will. Bob Burns and Emerson Boozer ate up huge chunks of real estate as the Jets moved 74 yards in 16 plays into the Giant end zone. However, the touchdown by third-string running back Hank Bjorklund was wiped out by a holding penalty, and the Jets had to settle for a 22-yard field goal by inexperienced rookie Pat Leahy. The score was now tied at 13 apiece. The Giants had passed extremely well in the first half. As we said, Craig Morton hit on 14 of 21 passes for 170 yards. With Morton hot and Ron Johnson out, they had no pretensions about their ground game. So, though Leon McQuay turned right end for a 7-yard pickup on the Giants' first series, Morton quickly returned to the air. He hit tight end Bob Tucker for his 6th pass reception of the game, a big one. The play went for 26 yards, and Morton soon capitalized on it further by finding Bob Grimm in the right-hand corner of the Jet end zone for the go-ahead score. No one appreciates the acquisition of Craig Morton more than Bob Grimm. He, along with the other wide receivers, was ignored by the departed Norm Snead, who preferred the short pass to the setbacks. But Morton has the arm to hit his wide receivers, and their receptions have jumped since he joined the Giants 3 weeks ago. Now trailing by 7, Joe Namath began the fourth quarter by filling the air with footballs. His passing brought the Jets all the way to the Giant 14, and there he crossed up his opponents with a give to Bob Burns. The unknown rookie from Georgia was the surprise of the game with a total of 101 yards on the ground on a day that passing predominated. After Burns picked up 9 yards to the 5, Namath handed off to Emerson Boozer on 2 consecutive downs that gained a yard each. Then, from the 3, he improvised on a fake to Boozer that completely fooled the Giant defense and Boozer himself, and peg-leg Joe Namath limped across the goal line. I didn't tell Boozer. I didn't tell anyone, said Namath later. It works better that way. He especially didn't tell his coaches, who nearly fell out of their seats. It was a big play, a courageous call from a guy who, in his own words, can't even run across the street. And the Jets mobbed their inspiration. With the battle for New York tied at 20, the Giants got some inspiration of their own on the following kickoff, when Joe Dawkins picked up some blocks, broke some tackles, and went all the way to the Jet 42, a return of 53 yards. Dawkins is another big acquisition for the Giants. He's averaging a whopping 6.6 yards a carry and has caught 27 passes for the Giants. Morton continued his uncanny accuracy when he speared Walker Gillette on a tough sideline pass for 12 yards. With a first down and the ball on the Jet 30, now the Giants were in excellent shape to score. But here the Jet defense got really tough and with good pursuit, stopped the Giants' offense stone cold. On third down, Steve Tannen's diving save on a Morton pass intended for Tucker ended the Giants' threat, forced a punt, and gave the Jets one last chance to break the tie as the clock was winding down. From his 35, a Namath to Burns swing pass with fine second effort gained 17 yards. Then Broadway Joe hit Rich Castor over the middle for 13 and a second straight first down. Now, deep in Giant territory, with just over a minute remaining, Namath was pressured by number 81, Jack Gregory, but found his release man, Bob Burns, and a potential loss was turned into a 13-yard gain. Two plays later, it was 3rd and 5 from the 12, and Namath had all day to wait for a receiver to come open. Like he was posing for a painting, he waited and watched Jerome Barkham beat his man in the end zone. But linebacker Brian Kelly came across and made a great diving save. It was a clutch play for the second-year man from California Lutheran, but it seemed it would only serve to delay the inevitable. For with just 16 seconds showing, Pat Leahy, a free agent signed only 2 days ago to replace the injured Bobby Howfield, had only a chip shot from the 16 to win the game. But here again, the Giants' defense made a big play in a pressure situation. The kick was blocked by Jim Steinke. The Jets' threat was over, and the game ended in a 20-20 tie. The battle for New York would now go into sudden death overtime.
It's not reservation.
Classic.
The Giants got a very big break when they won the toss and would have first possession in this only the second overtime game in regular season play. Choosing his plays carefully and safely, Morton took his team down inside Jet territory. After a pass to Gillette gave them a first down on the Jets' 34, the tide seemed to turn away from the Giants. Their star tight end, Bob Tucker, was injured on the play, and in 3 more plays, the Giant attack got little yardage. So on 4th and 1 and the ball on the 25, Coach Arnsparger bypassed the try for a first down and decided to go for the field goal. Pete Gogolak's attempt would be a 42-yarder, and if he hit it, the game would be over. Despite the officials' vehemency, Gogolak angrily disagreed with the call, although eyewitnesses behind the goalpost supported the official. The Giants had missed a golden opportunity to win, and now it was the Jets' turn to try. Starting at the 25, the point where the Giants' field goal was missed, Namath read the zone perfectly, passed to tight end Rich Castor all alone over the middle. It was the only time all day the Giants used double-double coverage. Namath read it and burned them for 42 yards all the way to the Giant 33. Next, Namath, continuing his hot hand, pumped right and threw left to Barkham, who took the ball for 12 yards. 3 plays later from the 5, Joe Namath, pressure passer without fear, calmly threw over the head of linebacker Brad Van Pelt and hit Emerson Boozer for the winning touchdown. Let's take another look at the winning play, which was called from the press box by Jet coaches. Taking advantage of Van Pelt's penchant for playing the run, Emerson Boozer was designated primary receiver, and it worked to perfection as he easily slipped behind the linebacker, number 10. So, with 6 minutes, 53 seconds of overtime elapsed, the Jets had won the bragging rights to the city of New York. Appropriately, Joe Namath has been the decisive factor in this, the first game ever in NFL history to be decided by the new overtime rules. Earlier this season, Denver and Pittsburgh played to a tie when neither team scored in the extra period. The NFL's Battle of New York had been fought in the air, and the 2 quarterbacks had been superb, but the difference had been Joe Namath and his play under pressure. In the Yale Bowl, Namath, definitely no Ivy Leaguer, had enjoyed one of his finest moments. For fans of football artistry, it had been much too long in coming.